This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello. So,
Hi.
welcome to Sundays with Coach Hemant. And today we are going to talk about the Super 7 of our lives. The people who help us make our life the best possible we can imagine, the best possible we can't even imagine. So, I would like to start off with this nice little quote which says, "It takes a village to raise a child." And it's very true because to raise a child or to make a person, it's not an individual contribution, or it's not just the parents and the immediate family which contributes. A whole lot many people contribute to the growing of a child. And similarly, in your lives, when you are thinking of achieving success, it is going to take contribution from a whole lot of people for you to achieve the things that you want in life. So that's what is the focus today. We're going to talk about the different types of people. And what I would be expecting you to do is very simple. Take a piece of paper, not only make notes of what we are discussing, but actually write down names of people who are already there under a certain type or a certain kind of person I'm talking about. This will also help you with two things. One, you have identified the people who have a specific role to play in your life. You might not have consciously recognized it, but today is a good time to do that. That's for your information. The second is identifying the gaps. If there are certain types that are required in your life and you don't have any identified right away, it would be a good exercise to identify some people, fill those gaps, and bring them into your network, or work actively towards nurturing that relationship. So that's what focus is going to be. Uh, I wanted to use something catchy for the promotion, so I used those nice picture of the Justice League with the seven types or seven superheroes. But trust me, we are going to discuss much more than seven. So a lot more people to be identified beyond the seven. So let's get on with that. So yeah, हर एक friend जरूरी होता है. This was an ad campaign by Airtel a long time ago, and a beautiful one. And it's about that we grow up with friends. While we learn a lot from our family, our parents, and that's the basic of our upbringing, a lot of our adult life formulations in terms of how we think, how we decide, how we make our decisions is pretty much governed by the friends we have and our interactions with them and what we learn from them. As we go from college life to working life, it is then those friends, some of them, they continue with us, and then a lot of colleagues, bosses, leaders whom we are exposed to. Or in business life, it is often the customers and suppliers, whoever. It's the circle that we build around us. It defines how successful or not we are going to be, and how overall our life will be: happy, unhappy, fulfilled, unfulfilled, and so on. So that was just a reminder to that. And now we come to the super seven of life. This is a perspective. It's one way of defining. There are many ways of finding what are the different kinds of people. I just found this one very interesting, so I picked it up. And why the super seven? Because superheroes are always interesting characters for us to look up to, and they are not just entertainment, but there are those values which the superheroes bring to the table, and that's what we like about them. So about these, the Justice League of the DC universe, these superheroes brought in certain perspectives, certain characteristics. Okay, there's one more member joining in. Okay, so the Justice League that way has had different members. I have picked up these seven to talk about today, starting from our Aquaman, then the Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, of course, Flash, and finally the Cyborg. And if you watch the series or the movies, read the comics, you discover over a period of time that these different characters embody different values, different things which they personify. And that's what we are going to talk about. These are values and things that you need in life. You need somebody or you need yourself to be playing those roles. Okay, so we'll take them one by one and let's see. Hi, welcome, Ria. Hope you can hear me and see me clearly. Confirmation would be good. Even a thumbs up would be okay. If you're early in the morning, you don't want to come on video. Okay, so text message. Yes, great. Thank you. So we'll move on with this. Yes. So the next. Okay, let's start with Superman. Probably one of the first heroes we encountered in life, at least I encountered. So that was the earliest memory of a superhero, the very old Superman movies. And Superman has always signified hope. In spite of all the things, all the qualities of super strength, laser eyes, cold breath, and whatever, the breath of cold as well as fire, whatever we may call it, he has always signified hope, the hope that things will be right. Superman is one of those guys who won't go about killing people. He has this resistance to killing people because he has the innate hope that people will become better if forgiven. People will become just forgive the sin and don't punish the sinner, sort of thing, because he relied on hope and he gave people hope. He personified hope for people, and that's what we all need, because hope is a rope to success. That's something I've believed always. Hope is what keeps you going, and you need somebody or those people in life around you who are hopeful. It would do a lot of good to stay away from hopeless people, people who will talk negatively about the time and situation and everything, because they are trying to pull you down, consciously or subconsciously. They are probably not doing it purposely. It's just that they think like that. It's their thought process which they share with you, and even you feel the same. If enough people talk about the markets going down, the markets will go down, because everybody is also behaving like that. So their talk of no lack of hope or things not going to be fine or you not going to achieve certain things is going to impact you. So you really need people who have high hope factor and who can give you hope. Whenever you are feeling hopeless, these are the people who can give you hope. The next, of course, we'll look at Aquaman. The story of Aquaman talks a lot about the significance he places on honor of a person. In his dealing with other Justice League members or even with common people, he is looked upon as someone who preserves their honor, who honors their honor. Now, honor in different ways, if you wanted to think of it, in our terms, normally people don't talk about honor, but we definitely talk about respect. They are pretty synonymous. Having very high regards for someone or high respect for someone goes a long way in maintaining, nurturing relationships also. So you need people around you who respect you. Their respect for you will mean that you will also not only feel confident about yourself, but you will also feel responsible and behave responsibly. And there have to be people around you whom you respect for certain qualities, abilities, and capabilities they bring to you. Right? That environment of respect is extremely important. Okay, so honor is the next thing. The people whom you can honor, respect, and those who can respect you. Green Lantern, a disaster of a movie from Hollywood, but a very strong character with a very, very interesting set of qualities or superpower abilities. It's a ring they have, and there's a whole story behind it, I don't know. But entirely by their willpower, they can produce or they can create things. This character signifies the strength of the willpower, and of course, it signifies also creativity, imagination, and that's where pushing your capabilities. Right? They use willpower and create anything, and that anything, if you see the movie for once, although it was a flop movie, almost a flop movie, it is their creativity and imagination that they use to create things and fight their battles. You need people around you who have strong willpower, because that will rub on you. They will help you become a strong-willed person yourself. And of course, while you're doing that, creativity and imagination. Creativity and imagination, sometimes we just feel, oh, I'm creative or I am not. It doesn't work that way. Creativity can be learned. Creativity can be nurtured. Creativity can be increased over a period of time by constantly working creatively or doing things which can push your mind to think creatively. Okay. So that's the next one. You need people who are creative around you, who are creative about how to solve problems, who are creative about how to do things. Those things will rub against you. Okay. Wonder Woman. I was introduced to this character pretty late in the super hero's journey, but I was mighty impressed by the lasso of truth which she uses. Now that lasso is being used for other people, but by herself, that strong, innate holding on to the truth which she has, always speaking the truth and expecting or extracting truth from other people. You need friends around you who are very, very truthful to you. They are not going to sugarcoat things and tell you. When you make a mistake, they're not going to tell you that, oh, no, it was not your mistake, it was someone else's mistake. If you have a breakup, they're not going to tell you that it was the other person's fault and not yours. Friends who can tell you the truth about a situation, a person, or a time, or your decision, or your thought process are the real friends that you have, are the real friends that you want, and are the real friends you should hold close to your heart. And at the same time, they deserve to have a true friend in you. So be truthful to them. Relationships are based on trust. Trust will be based on the truthfulness in the relationship. So always remember that. So this is another type of person you need in your life. Okay. Freedom. Flash has always been about speed and agility. Now that speed and agility is what gives freedom. Freedom to move, the freedom to go anywhere, right? And of course, Flash, amongst all the various Justice League members, represents the young and the funny. He's the youngest probably. He's the kid on the block, just like Spider-Man is the kid on the block in the Avengers group of people. Flash is the young one here. So be young at heart, irrespective of your physical or the age which is stamped, calculated according to your birthday. Be young at heart. Have some humor in life. Don't take life so seriously. And bring speed and agility in your life. You need people around you who are like that, who work on speed and who can speed you up, who don't slow you down. Because there will be times when you're very excited about the things you're doing and will operate on them or work with them at great speed. You will not let a single minute pass by without working on it. And then there will be times when you feel lethargic, when you're not so hopeful, when you feel down and you're like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. You need that friend who will bring in, who will come in and give you that speed and that agility, and also bring in that freshness of the youth into that endeavor. Right? So that was about freedom and the speed and agility brought in by Flash. This character was the cyborg, and cyborg is the embodiment of technology and culture. Technology and electronics and so on and so forth. Right? It's change. It's change to a new way of thinking, the new way of doing things. Right? It's cool tech. Right? In today's world, it's extremely important to be very tech savvy. Things are changing very, very fast. You can no longer afford to stick to your old ways of doing things. You will have to embrace new. Right? So that change, the ability to embrace that change is very important. And while we talk of the ability to embrace change, cool technology and all, Cyborg was that one person who went from human to machine. And in that, he began to understand the human better. He began to understand those boundaries between the human and the tech, and that created a lot of empathy in him. So empathy is an important one. Understanding the other person. Beyond all the technology, beyond all the techniques, beyond all the relationships, understanding the other person is an extremely important part. So you need somebody in your life who understands you, who understands your motivation, who understands your goals and why you want to achieve those goals. That friend may or may not be able to directly help you achieve those goals. But if he understands your goals and your desire for them, he will always be there backing you up. It could be a spouse who understands what you want in life and will support you all through it. And you should be that spouse who understands your spouse, her desires or his desires, and what they want in life and support them to achieve it. Because what we want in life and what we achieve and what our desires are gives meaning to our life. You are making their life meaningful to them just by offering your support. Be that friend and have a friend of that sort, or have a family member of that kind. Finally, of course, we come to our Batman. I wanted to keep Batman for this specific reason. Batman movies, if you remember, are almost always very dark. Most of the shooting is done at night. Batman pretty much operates at night, and he's constantly fighting the evil or the bad guys, the normal bad guys. He's not, pretty much most of the time, not fighting superhumans. He's himself not a superhuman or an alien like Superman, right? He's just a normal guy. In fact, one of the recent movies, there is this dialogue between Flash and Batman, and Flash asks him, "So what's your superpower?" And Batman says, "I'm rich." That's all the superpower he has. He's got a load of money, but what he has is the sheer courage to go up against the bad guy. He has the sheer courage to do the right thing, right? If you look at all the many different superheroes, they are all doing the thing. They have the courage to do the right thing, but all that is backed up by superpowers. They have superpowers, so they have the luxury to show courage. Batman has cool tech, not superpowers, and still he has the courage to do the right thing. In the Justice League movies we saw, he went up against Superman. It's unimaginable. When I first heard about the storyline, I was like, he doesn't even stand a chance against Superman. He's a mere human. No amount of tech can help him against Superman. Superman will just fry him with his laser eyes, right? But he had the courage. He was fighting for something which he thought was right, and he fought for it till the end. Justice, equality, or doing the right thing. That's what he embodies. He wants justice for people. He will go up against the bad guys. In fact, if you watch the Batman movies, all through the movies, he is being beaten. He is getting beaten. He is fighting the bad guys and he is enduring physical injuries. And he is human. So he has no way he's no way of recovering easily from those injuries. He doesn't have any healing powers. He has to live through the pain of all those injuries. And we have seen he keeps falling from all the odd places. And he's being beaten black and blue by the bad guys. In spite of all of that, sticking to his stand of doing the right thing to get justice for people, especially those who can't afford it, especially those who don't have it in them to get justice for themselves, standing up for them. Do you have a friend who will stand by your side, whatever the situation be? Do you have someone in your life who will be there, always doing the right thing? That's what we need, right? These 7 types of people you need in your life. People who will respect you, whom you will respect. People who have a strong willpower and they will instill in you the willpower to do things. People who will be truthful, who will tell you where you stand, who will not sugarcoat things for you. People who will fill you with hope every time. People like Batman, who will always do the right thing. Flash, representing, of course, speed and agility, and Cyborg, representing change, technology, using technology to solve your problems, embracing change, and having empathy for other people. What I would like you to do now is note down the names of 7 people, minimum one for each type, that you can think that, okay, this person fits this role. If you're getting the same person's name in multiple places, it's perfectly fine. But then you need one distinct name for each role, definitely. There might be one person who fits 4 categories. That name can be there, but have one more name. So we should have ideally 7 distinct names. So take a minute and start jotting down the names. Go in any order if you want, or just go in the order in which they are presented on the slide. Hi, Ankita. You joined in a bit late.
Yes.
We just concluded one part of the conversation, the 7 different types of people you need to have in your life. And I've just asked Ashish and Ria to note down at least one name against each one of them.
Okay.
So you missed that entire part, but I can just, in one sentence, I can brief you on it. A person with whom you hold in very high regards, somebody you respect a lot, and that person also respects you, and mutual respect being very high. That's what we are representing by Aquaman, representing honor. Green Lantern represents strong willpower. So somebody who has a strong willpower and can also impart a strong willpower whenever you are feeling low. Wonder Woman representing truth is somebody who will tell you the truth on your face, is not going to sugarcoat it for you. When you have made a mistake, they will tell you your mistakes. Having friends who do that is a great thing. Having friends who will always sugarcoat things for you and never tell you that it was your mistake are actually a problem. Then we, of course, come to Superman, who is an embodiment of hope, because there will be times in life when you lose hope, when you feel things are not going your way. You need somebody who props you up again and gives you that element of hope. Batman next, representing justice and pretty much doing the right thing in spite of the fact that he has got no superhuman abilities. Everybody else has got some or the other given or innate abilities, superhuman abilities. This guy doesn't have anything except that he's got a shitload of money. So are there any people in your life who will do the right thing always and who will inspire you to do it too? People whom you can actually talk to whenever you are having questions around your own moral compass. That's where we talk about Batman. Flash is all about speed and agility and the freedom which comes into it. You need somebody in life who can actually inspire you to get things done faster and be more agile in life. These are the ones who will help you find ways in which you can do things in a different way, in a better manner, in a faster manner. And finally, Cyborg, he represents cool technology, new technology, and he represents change. There should be somebody who can help you with technology and how to do things better using technology and how to embrace change. And of course, he represents empathy also. Now, the exercise was to identify at least one person against each of these types of people you need to have in life. If the same name is appearing in multiple places, perfectly all right, but then have another name also. So you should have at least 7 names by the end of the exercise. More the merrier, but at least 7.
Got it.
So that's what you missed. So take a minute and write down. Okay. Okay. So now we will resume and we take it further. So as I said in the beginning, while I had talked about 7 types, we are going to talk of more types also. There are 7 other types that I'm going to talk about. So there are 2 sets of 7s. Okay. Now, before I move on to the other 7 types, let me remind you that while we are looking at individuals who represent these qualities, you have a responsibility towards yourself to play these roles too. You need to have respect for yourself. You need to build your own strong willpower. You should never lie to yourself about what you expect, what you want, what you desire. Hope should never be let down. Always doing the right thing should be your thing. Develop speed and agility. It's not an easy thing to develop if you don't have it already, but it's not something you are born with. You can develop it. And similarly, embrace change, embrace technology. You should be all these things. When somebody else is creating a list of people, they should be able to put your name against some of these. Be that friend for someone else. While you are creating a list of friends who are for you these qualities or these types, be that friend for someone else also. Be that friend for yourself. So it's 3 things that I've talked about today. People who are going to be these types for you, you have to be these types for yourself, and you have to be for other people also. Okay, the same will be true for the next set of 7 qualities we are going to talk about. Okay, so basically we're talking about is you are the superhero. Now, there are two of me on screen, so that becomes weird. So you are the superhero, and you have to be the superhero for others too. Okay, let's move on. Great. We all remember this. I think this was one of the stories that we were told, or visually as well as in text or pictures we have seen it during our early school days, about an elephant, about a few blindfolded people or blind people encountering an elephant from different sides and creating different interpretations of what they were up against. Touching different parts of the elephant, they were creating their own perception of what it meant or what it was. That's how life is going to be. It's all about perspectives. How you see things depending on your frame of reference, depending on your conditioning, depending on your own thought process. Right? Keep that in mind. Now, once again, we're going to talk about these 7 different groups of people. So here we go. There are different groups you belong to, right? If you're a consultant, you belong to a whole group of consultants. If you're a finance person, you belong to a finance community. If you're a supply chain expert, you belong to a supply chain fraternity, and so on, so on. If you go to the gym, you may have a sense of belonging and a group with people who are there and you interact with regularly. If you're going out playing badminton, you have your own badminton group. You have your own set of friends with whom you go on outings and you go for movies, and so on and so forth. There are families and so on. So depending on your interests, your career, your sense of the things that you want to do. If you're going for yoga, you have your yoga group, and so on and so forth. There are hundreds of examples, and hence you will have all these different groups in life. Each group gives something to you. You belong to that group for a certain reason. It could be professional, it could be personal. Think about each of those groups and what you are getting from that group. How important it is to be part of that group for you, and what you are getting. And there should be an answer to both these questions. A group cannot be important for you and not give you anything, because then you are wasting time. If you're getting something from the group and it is not important for you, you're again wasting time. I can be part of a group which is, let's say, a book club. They read books, self-help, self-development, not fiction, but real good wisdom-filled books every month, and they discuss. And there's a lot of knowledge I'm getting out of that. But if I have no importance for that knowledge, if I'm not going to use that knowledge, if I belong to a software coding industry and that knowledge I'm not even applying, not even interested in, then while what I'm getting from the group is good, its importance for me is nil. I am wasting my time in that group. Unless there is hope that by being in that group, eventually I will start listening to what they are saying, the gyan they are trying to give me, and embrace it. Then yes, there is still hope. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time. Now, this is important so that you can, one, identify all these groups, why they are important for you, and whether you should be continuing to be in those groups or not. Right? So it's the belonging groups. It's these people, it's this set of people with whom you share something in common. Right? Very important. Let's go to the next one. The energy boosters. There will be some people who either in general are energy boosters for everybody, or there may be someone specific who is an energy booster for you specifically. It could be your best friend who can charge you up immediately with 5 minutes of conversation. Or there is somebody in your office, your workplace, or in your family who just by being in the room can charge everybody up. These are great people. They are doing a great service to humanity and to everybody else around them. They are filling you with energy. Right? Always hold on to these people. Have these people around you. Make sure you are around these people. Right? Great help in your life. Your growth companion, a very important category. Is there somebody in your life, or you know somebody who's trying to achieve the same things that you are trying to achieve? If you're aiming for weight loss and greater stamina, is there somebody you know who's trying to do the same thing, trying to live a more healthy life? If you're aiming to achieve something at your career, is there somebody else who is also doing the same thing? Because you both can help each other rather than thinking of a competition, especially when it comes to career and growth. We think of other people as our competitors, and we neither help them nor take their help. We're just losing out. Right? Grow together. You will motivate each other and you will also help each other. You possibly cannot have access to all the resources available. You will have access to some resources, the other person may have access to some other resources. You both will have access to different sets of people who inspire, who inform, who can give you the right guidance. When you add both of that together, you get more. And it has to be symbiotic. It cannot be give and not get back. You'll have to cut your losses and then break away from in such a parasitic relationship. So it has to be a symbiotic relationship. Find a growth companion if you can. It's great to grow together or aim for your destination together. Right? The next one is the networker. This is the type of person who knows everything that is going around. Call them whatever names, call them the BBC, the know-it-all, the center of attraction, whoever they are. But these are well-connected people who know almost everybody, if you want to say it like that. They know everybody around, whether it's in an organization, whether it's in family, whether it's in friend circle. They just know a lot of people, and they also know whom to reach out when, for what kind of help, and who's doing what in some ways. right? Knowing such people is always helpful when you're trying to get a specific task done and you need help. This might be the right guy to talk to, or this gal might be the right person to talk to find who can help you best. The person may or may not be able to help you directly, but they will be able to point you in the right direction as to who can help you in what way, right? So the networker, if you are not this person, you hopefully know a person who can do this for you. And then you come to the enthusiast, right? You had people who fill everybody with energy. An enthusiast is somebody who has a lot of enthusiasm about doing something. This could be a close friend or somebody who shares the same passion for a particular thing that you are trying to achieve. The energy booster was in general filling everybody with energy. It was not focused towards a certain thing or a certain type of people or a certain objective. The enthusiast is focused on the same thing you are focused about. And they're very enthusiastic about it. They are very enthusiastic about you. So they can be enthusiastic about the same thing that you are enthusiastic about, or they can be enthusiastic about you. They're always filled with a lot of enthusiasm and hope for you. Have these people close by around you. They will always lift you up whenever you are feeling low, or whenever you're not feeling low, they'll just lift you higher. Their enthusiasm will always power you, right? So that's another kind of person you need in life. Of course, the advisor, the mentor, who can give you the right advice at the right time. Advice could be very specific about the task at hand, or advice could be more philosophical, more life, or a very generic advice also, which is like problem solving. You are trying to solve a specific problem. Advice can come for the specific problem, or advice can come for problem solving in general. What are the steps you take while problem solving? If you are facing a type of constraint while solving the problem, what could be the approach you can take? So at both generic as well as specific level, do you have people around you who are wise enough to advise you, who are intelligent enough to advise you, who are experienced enough to advise you? Know these people. There will be times when you need help, when you feel stuck, or you get caught up in a web where you can't get out of, and you will need the advice of these people. They should be there. The challenger. Remember, you had a growth companion who was trying to do the same thing that you were doing, and you wanted that person as your companion so that you could do together. You also need somebody who will constantly challenge you. If you have decided that I will run 5 kilometers, once you have achieved that, that person should be challenging you for 10. Not resting on the fact that, oh, you achieved something, congratulations, great job done, thank you very much, done. No, they should be constantly challenging you to achieve more, because you can always achieve more. If you've done 10, then go for 20, then you can even aim for the marathon, right? And there are things beyond the marathon. There is this race with multiple rowing and swimming and cycling and running. I don't know, all that put together. I've forgotten the name, what it is called. It's not called the Superman, but something else.
Triathlon.
Triathlon is one, but there is something else, a specific race which is there. It's, I'll someday remember and let you guys know. But it is somebody who will always be challenging you to go beyond yourself. They will take you to a space, they will challenge you to a space where you don't even think you can go. Can you run 5 kilometers? Can you imagine yourself running 5 kilometers? They will be not only hopeful, they will challenge you to do it. And once you reach there, they will now challenge you for 10, and so on and so forth. In your career, if you thought, oh, I'll become a great senior manager, they'll challenge you to become a CXO. Or they might just challenge you to start your own business. You need the challenges in life, because they will keep the whole fight for life fresh within you, right? So once again, a quick recap of all the different types, the groups you belong to. the energy boosters, your growth companion, the one who knows everything and everybody, the networker, the enthusiast who is enthusiastic about you as well as the things you do, the advisor, generic as well as specific ones, and of course, the challenger in life. Right? Having these people around you, or at least these people identified, so that whenever you need them, you can reach out to them, is very important. So now you will be again taking a few minutes to note down belonging groups. There will be like so many. Identify 3, 4, and then you can do the rest later. But others from 2 to 7, identify certain individuals who can play that role. And try to find at least 6 different names, different from the 7 you have already written. I know I'm making this difficult now for you. But the more people you have to help you achieve things, it's like a safety net you are building. It's like a backup plan you are building. People can be a great backup plan for you. They are great enablers and they're great backup also. So take a few minutes to identify these, and remember once again, while you are looking for these people, try and be these people for yourself and for other people. Be a
Sorry,
growth
I have
companion.
one doubt
Yes, yes,
here.
sure.
So sometimes some of these uh, can be characters in a movie or a character in a show or something, right? Where, I mean, is that valid, or you want real life people only to be? Because a lot of times when such kind of scenarios come where probably I'm low or something, I just refer to one character in a particular show saying, and then it would really boost it up for me. So I'm just trying to ask that.
Right. So you answered your question basically that if it helps, you've identified the person. The only thing missing in that relationship will be interaction.
Yeah.
So as if you can derive the learning and derive the benefit by that one-way communication which is happening, that you look at that person either as a movie or as a character and draw inspiration from that person, and it boosts your energy, it gives you the solution to the problem, it gives you motivation, great, no problem. But if by
It
just
does.
looking at them it is not going to help too much, then you need somebody to engage with. So try to find somebody to engage with also, in addition to the ideal you are having.
Sometimes the Dronachari and Ekalavya relationship helps. So yeah,
Definitely.
but yeah.
See, learning can come from anywhere. Inspiration can come from anywhere. So take a few moments, start noting down the names against each one of them. Okay, so I hope you have noted down names of people all across these different types. So we have seen the 7 different types of people based on our DC Universe Justice League. And we have seen also these people with certain qualities which will be very useful in your life. Right? Now, a very important quote for you to remember. People were created to be loved and things were created to be used. Most of the chaos in life is because things are being loved and people are being used. The session today was about people who will make a difference in your life, people who will help you grow, people who will help you achieve things that you want in life. Do not use them. They are partners in your journey and not things to be used for specific purpose. They have a specific purpose in your life, but that thought process, that attitude towards them needs to be very, very different. They are partners in your life and not things or people to be used, right? And that comes from the space where you only interact and you are only going to honor, respect them when you are getting something out from them. At all other times, in all other situations, you're either ignoring them or don't care about them. That is what you should not be doing. If you have identified people who are playing certain roles for you, try to play similar roles for them, or whatever you are good at, whichever role you fit into, play that role for them too. It's a duty you have towards people you are helping you to help them. Okay. So now we are going to basically talk about how do you nurture these relationships. These are important people in your life, the people you have identified, irrespective of the number of people you have identified. If you have talked about 7 plus 7, you could have probably identified 14, 15 people. Or if you think hard, you might identify 50 people who fall into that. How do you nurture those relationships? Again, a few simple things to do. Do express your gratitude towards them formally, explicitly. Right? In relationships between friends, we often do not say the thank yous. We do not acknowledgement their contribution. On some day, a particular day, or just about randomly, express your gratitude for them and make it specific. Tell them specifically what difference they have made for to you in your life. What have they contributed? Feel free to tell them what role they play. Are they that enthusiastic? Are they the networker in your life? Are they your advisor? Tell them. Are they your Superman? Are they your Wonder Woman? Tell them specifically what they have done for you. Express your gratitude. Be proactive in reaching out to them. Be proactive in nurturing your relationship. Don't just let it be. Don't take it for granted. Out of sight, out of mind actually works that way. If you're not going to be in touch with them for a very long period without acknowledging them, that relationship may go stale. The next time you need something from them, one, they may or may not want to help you. Second, they have no context of where you are in life, what you are doing, what you are trying to achieve, what have you already gone through. So they are unable to even advise you or help you at times. So be in touch, be proactive in that. That's where it comes to like planned quality time together. You will have to plan some time with them. It could be a phone call, it could be a chat, it could be a conversation. Sometimes with a specific purpose, sometimes just a hi, hello. I often drop a hi, long time no see message to people on LinkedIn. People I know, not random people. I never interact with random people. People with whom I have worked with, I have known personally, but we haven't been in touch for like 5 years, 10 years, even 15 years. I've reached out to people I worked with and my first job way back in year 2000. And I suddenly realized I haven't been in touch with them for 20 years now. And I say, just say hi, hello, long time no see. People I've done my MBA with, that was 2005. It has been 17 years. 1 week ago, I had a conversation with one person. I was having that conversation after 17 years. And we picked up right from where we left, remembering our old days and talking about what we are doing now. Be in touch, plan some quality time and plan some quality interaction with them. It has to be planned. It's not going to happen all by itself. And depending on your list, 7 plus 7 roles, either there are 14 people or there are 50 people, you will need to plan that time. Otherwise, you will start missing out on it. Right? Ask for help. Help is not going to come all by itself. You need to ask for it. Never hesitate to ask for help. People are ready to help. Never think whether the person will help me or not, whether the person will have time or not. Right? Irrespective of how busy people are, people can find time for you if they want to. If they don't want to, they can be sitting free, absolutely with a lot of time on hand, and all they will give you is excuses simply because they don't want to give you time. Time is a very precious commodity. So you'll have to actively ask for help, and asking for help has to be very, very specific. If you're asking for help, you need to formulate your problem statement very clearly. You need to have your constraints, the options, the possibilities. Your homework should be done before you go asking for help. What you have already tried, what has not worked, why it has not worked. You should be ready with that. But always ask for help when you need it. And be ready to help them. And this is what I've been saying since the beginning. When you are identifying people to play roles in your life, identify your role in their life also. When they help you, always be ready to help them back in whatever way you can. Right? It may not be the same help they are giving you. You are a different person. You can bring something else to the table. You can help in different ways. Sometimes the right words, just a few words at the right time, can mean a lot for somebody. It has happened in my past that there was a day when I went through almost 4 or 5 job interviews or like summer placement interviews, and I was not going through. And I was actually feeling that I'm not going to crack it. And then a friend came and talked to me for just 2 minutes. The next interview, I went in thinking I will make it happen, and it did happen. It makes a lot of difference. And there are numerous examples from my life. And if you think about it, there will be examples from your life where a rightly timed few words changed your entire life or any other help in any form. So be ready to help them. So once again, nurturing relationships, not 7 this time, but 5 simple things. Express your gratitude, honest, genuine gratitude, and make it specific. Tell them in what way they have made a difference to your life. Be proactive in nurturing that relationship. Plan some time with them. Plan a conversation and engagement with each one of them. Never hesitate to ask for help and be ready to help back. Be always ready to be there for those people who are there for you. It's extremely important, right? And life is again going to be all about perspective. From the animal kingdom to small sketches which give you a thing about perspective. And it is very important to understand this, because what you see or the way you see things can be very different from how the other person sees it. This is one of the reasons you need other people in your life, because they can see what you can't, what you won't. And understanding that difference, appreciating difference goes a long way in building a good understanding of the situation, of the problem at hand and everything. So always have people with diverse ways of looking at things, right? Having people who look at the world differently helps. They are not in contradiction to what you are thinking, what you are feeling, the way you look at it. They are not in contradiction. It's just another perspective, right? So that's something I wanted to bring to your attention. Well, that brings me to the end of our session, basically. So now we could even open the floor for any questions if you have, or we could nicely conclude this session. So let me come back on video. Let me, yes. Great, my video is still not on. Yes. Any questions you have, or any comments, or anything you want to share?
I just wanted to add one more thing. Like, what you said was right. Like, we are not lucky all the time to have certain unexpected conversations that would turn our life around. We need to plan them. But yeah, but there are certain times where we plan for something, but a different thing also happens. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's those conversations which give rise to and give birth to many possibilities. So it's about having many more conversations in life with people you know, with people you don't know, especially the people you know. Rightly said.
yeah. And
Ashish,
so
yes, go
one,
on, go on.
I mean, the other day I was just walking around the mall and then I saw somebody and I was just quickly observing how they were handling a particular situation. And that was so inspiring. I just
Uh-huh.
walked up to that lady and I appreciated her and it really changed her completely. Yay, good job. So it completely changed her perspective. And I thought like, oh, just one kind of compliment is that, and then we became good friends, and now we're catching up. So
Yes. No, definitely, definitely. Ashish, you were saying something.
Well, in my case, I think my transition from a proper real estate corporate companies to consulting have kind of made me discover some of these values, human values that human can have, and about nurturing relationship. I think uh, because in consulting you have to kind of share a lot of industry practices, and the industry that I come from, say for example 8 years I worked in real estate, and before that 8 years in customer service. So similar thing, what a client, a mature client would expect from me is to share those best practices, and
Yes,
you will be able to share those best practices by leveraging your experience or by leveraging your network. And that is where nurturing your relationship is so important.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
maybe I know around like 150 people in, if I look at my span of around like 12 to 15 years, say around 15 years, and I have activated those relationships. Now I have those like their contact details, and they are on LinkedIn, they are on some WhatsApp group. My interaction with them has increased almost by, it was next to zero, you can say, in lot of cases. In lot of
Yes,
cases it was kind of very strictly, when I had some work, I used to contact them, and likewise from their end also, because maybe I didn't really think that I have to spend that much time. But now I'm consciously spending that much time, investing that much time when I'm traveling to and fro from my company to like home. Like during that time, I just browse through all the contacts on my WhatsApp, on my LinkedIn. I make an effort to just say hi, what you just said, like 17 years ago. I can relate to it. It resonated really well with me, that particular point.
yes, yes. And it's an important one. People, I mean, your success is going to be dependent on people around you and your network. So why not actually put in some effort to nurture these
Right.
people and the relationships with your network? So yes, yes, very important. So great. We have talked about a whole lot of people. Today's session was all focused on people and people around you. And I'll again, at the cost of repeating the same thing, I'll once again say that while you have identified all the role players in your life, be one of those role players or more of those role players for other people also. You owe it to them. On that note, thank you very much for coming for today's session. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.